Have you ever sat down at the dinner table with a warm plate of fish in front of you, maybe perfectly grilled, with a sprinkle of lemon juice and some fragrant herbs, and thought to yourself, fish has to be healthy, right? We've been told that our whole lives. Fish is good for your heart. Fish is good for your brain. And to be fair, most of the time, that's absolutely true. Lean fish is packed with protein. It's rich in omega-3s, what many nutritionists call liquid gold for aging bodies. But what if I told you? Some of the most common types of fish, even the ones sitting in your fridge right now, might actually be harming your health. Not in a way that causes pain right away, not in a way that knocks you down after one meal, but slowly, silently damaging your memory, your nervous system, your internal organs, even your heart. And the worst part, you won't even notice until it's too late. You see, once we pass 60, our bodies don't filter toxins the way they used to. The liver weakens, the kidneys slow down, the immune system reacts more sluggishly, and that's exactly why older adults are far more vulnerable to heavy metals, chemical residues, and bacteria, many of which hide inside healthy-looking fish. These fish were once considered superfoods. Now, they top the list of nutritional red flags, not because the fish have changed, but because our bodies no longer have the strength to fight back. And maybe you only eat them once a week, a Sunday lunch after church, or a special dinner with the family. But those just once-in-a-while meals add up over time, and can do real harm in the long run. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to warn you with respect and responsibility, because if you're over 60 or if you care for someone who is, this information could truly protect their long-term health. In today's video, I'll reveal 6 types of fish that older adults should avoid entirely, not based on guesses or opinions, but grounded in real research, expert nutritional advice, and even heartbreaking true stories from families who learned too late. Some of these fish will be familiar. One might be served at a diner just down your street. And one in particular, number 4, might shock you completely. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which fish to avoid, why they're dangerous, and most importantly, you'll walk away with safer, brain-boosting, heart-healthy alternatives that are easy to enjoy. But before we begin, I have one simple question for you. If you're here because you care about your health or the health of someone you love, please comment, "I'm listening." That one sentence helps me know this message is reaching the right people, those who genuinely value well-being in these later chapters of life. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to follow Tom Hardy Health, because every day, we share simple insights that lead to life-changing results. Picture this, it's a quiet Sunday afternoon. Your grandfather, the man who proudly calls himself the family's grill master, is standing on the back porch, flipping slices of king mackerel over a sizzling flame. "This one's great for the heart," he smiles, "and good for the brain too." And you believe him because that's what you've always heard. But then, over the next few weeks, months, you start to notice small things. He forgets simple details, his grandson's name, a doctor's appointment. One morning, you see his hands tremble slightly as he reaches for his coffee mug. You tell yourself, it's just old age. But what if it's not? What if the very fish he thought was protecting him is actually harming him? Here's what you need to know. King mackerel is one of the highest mercury fish on the market. Mercury is a heavy metal toxin that can damage the nervous system, impair memory, cause tremors, loss of balance, and even heart complications. Younger bodies can gradually flush some of it out. But in older adults whose liver and kidneys work slower, mercury builds up, and it stays. A joint advisory from the FDA and EPA places king mackerel on the do not eat list for seniors, young children, and pregnant women. That's not limit intake. That's do not eat it at all, not even once. Here's the tricky part. Many people mistake king mackerel for Atlantic mackerel. The names sound similar, but the health impact couldn't be more different. Atlantic mackerel, low in mercury, high in omega-3 south, brain-friendly. King mackerel, high in mercury, neurotoxic, should be avoided entirely. So if there's king mackerel sitting in your fridge right now, it's time to say goodbye. Here's a smarter, safer swap. Wild-caught salmon, heart protective, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging. Sardines, small, low in toxins, yet packed with essential nutrients. Because when you're over 60, eating isn't just about filling your belly. Every meal is a decision about memory, clarity, and longevity. And in the next part, We'll look at a fish that might surprise you even more, because this one. It's served in high-end restaurants and might be on your dinner plate tonight. It's a beautiful evening. You and your loved ones decide to treat yourselves to dinner out. Maybe it's a birthday, an anniversary, or just a little reward after a long week. You open the menu and see it. White fish grilled with lemon butter. It sounds healthy, light. You think white fish has to be good for you, but behind that innocent name could be a fish that should never be on the plate of an older adult. Tilefish. Tilefish, especially those caught in the Gulf of Mexico, contain some of the highest mercury levels of any fish sold commercially. In fact, on the FDA's mercury ranking, tilefish tops the list as one of the most dangerous for seniors. According to EPA studies, tilefish can contain up to 3.73 ppm of mercury. That's enough to cause neurological damage after just a few servings. You won't feel it right away, but mercury doesn't disappear. It builds up over time, quietly attacking your memory, balance, focus, and even your mood. You or your loved one might begin to feel tingling in the hands, foggy thinking, or unexpected sadness without ever suspecting that a healthy fish dish from weeks ago could be the cause. And here's the truly alarming part: tilefish is rarely labeled by name. Instead, it's disguised under terms like white fish, catch of the day, grouper-style fish. You ask the server, "What kind of fish is this?" They reply, "It's just a nice, mild white fish, fresh today." But fresh today doesn't mean safe for your body. Here's how to protect yourself. When dining out, ask specifically for the name of the fish. If it's tilefish, politely decline, and instead, choose safer alternatives like cod, gentle on digestion, mild and flaky; haddock, low in mercury, easy to cook, senior friendly. Because at this age, every meal matters. You're not just eating for taste. You're eating for memory, for balance, for peace of mind. Mini cliffhanger, and if you think tilefish is the worst, wait until you hear about the next fish. It sounds luxurious. It's often served at celebrations, but inside, it hides real risks to your brain, kidneys, and heart. A fancy dinner, candlelight, a glass of wine, soft music playing in the background. The waiter comes to your table and proudly announces the special of the night: swordfish grilled with herb butter. It sounds elegant. You think it's okay to splurge once in a while, especially if it's healthy, right? But here's the truth no one tells you. Swordfish is one of the longest living fish in the ocean. It lives for decades, hunts deep underwater, and along the way, it accumulates mercury from hundreds of smaller fish it eats. By the time it reaches your plate, every slice of swordfish may carry enough mercury to harm the nervous system, especially in older adults, according to data from the FDA. Swordfish contains anywhere from 0.995 to 1.82 parts per million of mercury, a level considered dangerous for anyone over 60. Even just a few servings per month can lead to a gradual buildup and cause long-term damage to memory, coordination, and even mood. And here's where many people go wrong. They think that grilling it well, adding herbs and lemon will somehow neutralize the toxins. That's a dangerous myth. Mercury is not destroyed by heat. It can't be washed away. It can't be cleansed with lemon or ginger. It's embedded deep within the fish muscle, and once you eat it, it travels straight into your bloodstream. From there to the liver, the kidneys, and worst of all, the brain. If you or your loved one has a history of high blood pressure, tremors, or memory issues, swordfish isn't a treat, it's a slow-acting poison. So what's a better, safer option if you're craving a thick, meaty cut of fish? Try these alternatives instead. Organic trout, especially rainbow trout, soft, flavorful, and low in mercury. Pollock, the heart-healthy white fish commonly used in British fish and chips. Remember, fancy doesn't mean safe. And chef special doesn't always mean good for your health. Why stay reminder? And in the next part, we're diving into a fish that may look innocent on a sushi plate, but it's not just mercury you need to worry about. This one, it could be harboring live bacteria, the kind that can wreak havoc on a senior's already fragile immune system. A cozy evening with the grandkids, everyone's in the mood for sushi, a trendy, light meal often thought of as healthy. On the plate, vibrant red slices of fish, glistening under the light. Big-eye tuna, the star of many modern dinner tables. It looks premium, it tastes rich, but what you don't see is that big-eye tuna carries to serious risks: mercury, and bacteria. Like swordfish, big-eye tuna is a large, long-living predator high in the food chain. The bigger and older it is, the more mercury it accumulates. According to FDA data, big-eye tuna can contain anywhere from 0.68 to 1.30 parts per million of mercury. That's 10 to 15 times the safe limit for people over 60. But mercury isn't the only concern here, because tuna is often eaten raw in sushi, sashimi, or lightly seared. Older adults also face a second threat: bacteria. When you're young and your immune system is strong, most bacteria can be fought off easily. But after 60, even the tiniest microbe can trigger days of illness or even a hospital stay. According to the CDC, people over 65 are 4 times more likely to be hospitalized due to foodborne illness. Raw tuna may carry dangerous pathogens like Listeria monocytogenes, Salmonella, and Anisakis parasites. The symptoms may start small: an upset stomach, maybe some nausea. But in seniors, that discomfort can drag on for days, leading to dehydration, weakness, and serious complications, especially for those with pre-existing conditions. So if you or someone you love enjoys tuna, here's a safer alternative. Canned light tuna skipjack, lower in mercury, affordable, and easy to prepare. Always choose cooked fish, never raw. And here's a golden rule to remember. The bigger the fish, the longer it lives, the more dangerous it is. The smaller the fish, the safer it tends to be. But if you think raw fish is the only danger, just wait until the next one. Because the fish we're about to talk about looks bright and pink, almost too perfect. And that's because it's artificially dyed and raised in shocking conditions. You walk into the supermarket. The seafood section glows brightly under the lights. There it is, a neat tray of salmon, perfectly pink, neatly packaged, and labeled. Fresh salmon, special offer. You smile and think, perfect. Salmon's a superfood, and at this price, what a deal. But what most people don't realize is that bright pink color may be hiding something you didn't expect. Not all salmon is created equal. That fillet you just dropped into your cart may be farmed salmon. And it's nothing like the wild-caught kind health experts rave about. Most farmed salmon comes from countries with low safety standards, like Chile, China, or parts of Southeast Asia. There, fish are raised in crowded sea cages. Thousands of fish packed into murky waters with low oxygen and high waste. To keep disease from spreading, farmers feed them antibiotics daily. And because the flesh of farmed salmon is naturally gray, not pink, they add artificial coloring to the feed to make the meat look more appealing. A report by the Environmental Working Group (EWG) revealed farmed salmon can contain up to 16 times more polychlorinated biphenyls (PCBs), industrial chemicals linked to cancer, than wild salmon. PCBs and dioxins don't just increase cancer risk. They also disrupt hormones, weaken the immune system, and fuel the kind of chronic inflammation that older adults are already battling every day. And here's the part that's hard to swallow. Despite all this, farmed salmon is the most common salmon on the market. In fact, up to 70% of salmon sold in the US and UK is farm-raised. Here's how to protect yourself. Choose wild-caught Alaskan salmon whenever possible. Look for naturally dark red flesh, no artificial coloring, no antibiotics, and real omega-3 south. Always check the label. If it says product of Chile or doesn't list the source, put it back. Sure, you might pay £2 to £3 more, but what you're buying is peace of mind. Less inflammation, sharper thinking, happier joints. And next, we'll talk about a fish that might take you back to your childhood. Because it's not just a meal, it's part of tradition, part of memory. But in today's world, even tradition needs an update if we want to protect our health. A familiar image comes to mind: your grandfather standing in a small kitchen, wearing an old button-up shirt, flipping golden slices of catfish in a cast iron skillet. The smell fills the house, kids run through the halls. Adults laugh and talk at the table. Catfish, once known simply as dinner, was also a memory. A symbol of family, of home. But today, there's a part of the story we all need to hear. Because not all catfish are what they used to be. The truth is, most catfish sold in supermarkets today is imported. And unfortunately, much of the catfish imported from Asia, especially China and Vietnam, is raised in deeply concerning conditions. Polluted water, overcrowded ponds, poor quality, unregulated feed. and antibiotic levels so high they're banned in the US and Europe. A report by the FDA found that nearly 30% of imported catfish samples from Asia contained illegal or excessive antibiotics. Some, like chloramphenicol, are strictly prohibited because they can cause bone marrow failure, immune disorders, and antibiotic resistance for seniors whose immune systems are already more fragile. Eating antibiotic-contaminated fish can lead to drug-resistant infections, severe digestive inflammation, and even hospitalization. Symptoms like lingering stomach aches, unexplained fatigue, or irregular digestion might be caused not by old age, but by that familiar-looking fish that's not so clean anymore. The good news is, you don't have to give up catfish, you just have to choose better. Look for US-farmed catfish raised under strict safety standards. Clean water, regulated feed, and no dangerous antibiotics. Always cook thoroughly, avoid undercooked fish or unknown restaurant sources. Our childhood memories deserve to be preserved. But let's do it with awareness and care, so that today's family dinners are not just filled with the taste of the past, but also the safety of the future. We've just gone through 6 types of fish that older adults should avoid, familiar names, family favorites, even dishes tied to some of your most cherished memories. And if you're feeling a little sad, a little surprised, I understand. Because it's hard to accept that something you've trusted your whole life, something that felt nourishing and familiar, may have been quietly doing harm. But this is not a story of regret. This is a story of awareness. Because every new day brings a chance to choose differently, to make changes, to protect the people we love. With the smallest of actions, checking a label, asking a simple question, choosing the safer option. Remember, growing older doesn't mean having fewer choices. It means choosing more wisely, because your body no longer has the strength to tolerate what it once could. If you learned something valuable today, please leave a comment. I understand. It lets me know you're still here, still listening, and most importantly, ready to take action. And if you believe this video could help someone, share it with a friend, a parent, a grandparent, anyone you love who's over 60. They might not know, but because of you they might be protected. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide, where we share real advice, gentle guidance, and simple, powerful health solutions for older adults every single day. You are not alone on this journey. Together, step by step, we can create a life in older age that's not just longer, but stronger, sharper, and more meaningful. Thank you for staying with me to the very end. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, wishing you and those you love a life of strength, clarity, and peace.